When 14-year-old Amara left her village, she carried her life in a small, faded box. Two dresses, a Bible her mother had wrapped in nylon against the rain, and a promise. Her aunt had stood in the red dust courtyard and said, "In the city, your future will finally begin." The village watched her go, like they always did, half proud, half grieving, because everyone knew that children who left for the city rarely returned the same. The city was louder than Amara imagined, louder than market days, louder than Harmattan winds rattling zinc roofs. Her aunt's house stood in a cramped street where generators coughed smoke and neighbors fought over water like it was gold. It was nothing like the wide skies of home, but Amara told herself this was the sound of opportunity. At first, her aunt was kind. She enrolled Amara in a nearby school, bought her second-hand textbooks, and braided her hair on Sunday evenings while humming hymns. But kindness, Amara learned, could be fragile, like glass balanced on a windowsill. Her aunt's husband began with looks. Long, heavy looks that lingered too long when she bent to sweep the floor. Then came the accidental touches, a hand brushing her waist in the kitchen, fingers grazing her shoulder when no one else was watching. "Uncle, please," she whispered once, shrinking away. He smiled, a slow, deliberate smile that made her stomach twist. "Why are you afraid? I'm family." The words clung to her like smoke. Amara tried to stay invisible. She finished chores early, locked herself in the small room she shared with a sewing machine, and pretended to sleep when he returned late at night. But invisibility is a luxury not every girl is allowed. One evening, her aunt traveled back to the village for a funeral. She would be gone 3 days. That night, the power went out. Darkness swallowed the house whole. Amara lay still on her mat, listening to the hum of mosquitoes and the distant thud of music from a bar down the street. Then she heard footsteps outside her door. Her breath stopped. The handle turned slowly. What followed shattered something in her that never fully returned. The walls did not scream. The city did not pause. Somewhere, people laughed. Generators roared. Life continued, unaware that a girl's world had split open in the dark. When her aunt returned, Amara tried to speak. The words came out tangled, broken. Her aunt stared at her for a long time, eyes hardening. "Do you know what you are saying?" she asked quietly. Amara nodded, tears sliding down her face. The slap came so fast she barely saw it. "You want to destroy my marriage after all I've done for you?" her aunt said, voice shaking, not with compassion, but fear. Her uncle stood in the doorway, calm, composed, already wearing the mask of innocence. From that day, the house changed. Conversations stopped when Amara entered a room. Plates were served without looking at her face. Her aunt began locking her inside when she went out, as though Amara was the danger. A month later, she was sent back to the village without explanation. The villagers noticed immediately. The quiet girl who had once laughed freely now moved like a shadow. She stopped going to the stream, stopped joining other girls under the mango tree. At night, she woke screaming, clutching at memories she could not escape. Her mother begged her to speak, but shame is a prison built without doors. Rumors arrived before truth ever could. Some said she had been caught stealing. Others whispered she had become pregnant in the city. No one asked what really happened, because sometimes truth is too inconvenient for people to hold. Years passed. Amara grew older, but the case of her silence remained unresolved. No police report, no justice, no apology, just a wound the world pretended not to see. On the day her aunt's husband died suddenly of a stroke, The news reached the village by evening. People expected relief, closure, something. Instead, Amara walked alone to the edge of the farmland where the city road disappeared into the horizon. She stood there for a long time, wind pulling at her wrapper, eyes fixed on the distance between where she had been and who she had become. Justice, she realized, had never been part of her story. But survival was. And sometimes survival is the loudest testimony of all. As the sun sank, painting the sky in bruised shades of orange and purple, Amara whispered words she had never dared to say aloud. They believed silence would bury me, but I am still here. The wind carried her voice across the fields, over the road, toward the city that took her innocence and never answered for it. Behind her lay the village that did not know how to protect her. Ahead lay a future she would have to build with scarred hands. And somewhere between those two worlds lived a girl whose story remained unfinished, waiting for a day when silence would no longer be mistaken for peace.